guys, welcome back to another episode of the Hate Journals. It is your girl, Black Mamba, and of course, our lovely and wonderful AP. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Ooh, good.
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 Life's good.
Life is pretty good right now for me. Yeah.
It's a good chapter. I don't know what March is bringing. Fucking little leprechauns of joy.
I know. I keep forgetting that it's March and that we have like St. Patrick's Day coming.
I love St. Patrick's Day.
I gotta get a better Irish
not
accent
anymore
going.
with kids because it used to be one of my favorite drinking holidays.
No, it still is.
If not the favorite.
No, it still is. It's just you're in a different place because of
I know,
the kids.
but like it didn't matter what day it fell on. Like everybody just tried to get the evening off so you could just get fucking wild.
Yes, and we have so much fun because we used to go down to Wells and do
just do it.
The Patty and Pub. I've got to get better with my accents.
Yeah, that was really bad.
Patty and Pub. It's a Patty and Pub.
I feel like you do that for like English, Irish, Scottish.
Yeah.
Syrian.
They're all the same. Truly, they're all the same to me. Not the people, but the accent. It's not them, it's me. Yeah. I'm working on it.
I think we know.
I've told you this before that one of my goals in life was to have an English accent and or dimples. I feel like it really would have elevated my brand.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that neither one of those things exist, if I'm being totally honest. I could see like the direction you were headed with that, maybe at like earlier times in your life, but I think I speak for us all when I say, you really landed where you were supposed to.
I landed right on time. Okay.
Right on brand.
Okay. I mean, it's not that I was worried. I just felt like it really would have right to that next level.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
How was your week?
Good. Long.
Yeah.
Like much everybody else who is over 25.
Yes.
Long week.
Just out here.
Yeah. Doing the most.
Vibing and surviving. Vibing and surviving is what I'm doing.
Surviving.
Yeah. It was a pretty interesting week. I had some shakeups at work. We have new management, so that was interesting. So far so good. It's tough with new management because you're always like, I'm always a pretty hopeful person.
Yeah.
And it's easy to dupe me. I'm the person that you're like, look at these vacuums, ma'am.
You are very easy to dupe.
These are the best vacuums ever. Mm-hmm. It's just because I genuinely believe the good in people. Yeah. And if you're selling me a good product, I will buy it. Like, I'm not a complete sociopath idiot, but
totally. Totally. Yeah. You want to just like, you believe in the best. But the funny thing about you is like, there will be like, what I would consider like red flags. And you just like to bypass like all of those.
Speed past them.
Until it like flags you in the face. Until you actually get beaten down with a red flag. You're like, wow, that came out of nowhere. And I'm like, wait, what? What are you? Oh yeah, that was wild. No.
I genuinely believe
I think it's
that
because
people
you are probably a little bit more optimistic and a better person, because there's just certain things like I can meet you off grip and you could say something wild and it would be relating to nothing.
Yeah.
Like nothing that's important. And I'm like, oh, I know you.
Yeah. It's not that I don't, like when I see it, it's not like I'm like, oh, I don't notice what's happening. But I think a lot of the times I do know how it feels to be to have somebody meet you and you're like, fuck, I was nervous, or I gave them all the wrong energy, or maybe I'm not great around people. And so I do like to give people several opportunities to show me who they are. Yeah. Just because people too, it takes some folks a little bit longer to get more comfortable. And you and I are just, throw us in a room, we're going to schmooze, we're going to
I'm kind of like, you're guilty until proven innocent. Mm-hmm. So like if you come at me tough,
that's definitely.
I'm just like, you will always be allowed to redeem yourself, but like you're already taken off. Like you're already, like I put you over here. Yeah. And then like you said, like you just like leave them over here until they just have to go. Like I immediately place you. Yes. And then when you do like redeeming things, I'm like, oh, well, you can just like move back into this area.
Well, that's why we have a great friendship, because there are times when I'm like, I will call you and be like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Is this person like really a pile of shit, or am I nuts? Right. And you're really good at being like, hey, listen, you had authentic feelings going into that situation, and this person's just a horrible person. Yeah. And that does help, because sometimes people are just,
Well, and then also, too,
shoot for every foot.
I've also told you, like, yeah, you're wild. Why are you thinking that? Mm-hmm. Like, why are you saying these things? Mm-hmm. you're being wild. And you're like, but there, and I'm like, nope, you're wild.
Yeah, it's good to have a
Vice
friendship
versa.
like that where you can have somebody.
And you have said things to me like, why do you own those pants? Like, it's like.
Because I love you. I genuinely have so much love for you. I never want you out in these streets looking like a wild clown.
Yeah, I just think that's like a really...
Oh, are you going with those?
Interesting.
Taupe. Didn't even know they made taupe anymore.
Trending.
Try to start off slow, but then because we've known each other a very long time, I just like to go right in. Why waste time
And
here?
I was gonna say we really don't have that kind of time on our hands anymore.
Yeah, and you don't get you're not one of those that gets your feelings easily hurt.
I definitely don't.
Not when it comes to fashion.
And it's oddly
because it's not about fashion is not about love. That's where people get that shit fucked up. When if I say to you, wow, look at those fucking pants. You look fucking insane. That has nothing to do with your body. You have a slamming body. You know I think you're absolutely gorgeous.
The pants are wild.
But that has nothing to do with the fact that you're wearing a wild ass outfit. So yeah, I'm glad we have that friendship. I had a really great week. Besides the whole management thing, Bill and I got into our shows, which yes. But I had said to him, I refuse to pay for Disney Plus. I think I may have briefly touched on a little letter that I kind of vented out to Discovery Plus a few episodes ago. But
you did it.
Verizon said, hey, listen, we hear you, Mamba. How about we give you 6 months free? Check it out. See what you like.
So I'm not going to lie. I'm on Prime a lot, right? Yeah. We got the Fire Stick. Crucial.
Right.
And it keeps sweeping by. And I keep telling him, I want it.
I got rid of Disney Plus so that I could have Discovery Plus. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't regret it. It was a perfect purchase.
I would hope not. You're an adult woman. What the fuck do you need Disney Plus for?
For Keek.
She's basically an adult woman.
There is a couple of shows on there she likes, but it was free through Verizon, right?
Yeah,
so it was free. Yeah. So I did the year.
Yeah.
And then when it came to an end, I was like, time to end this friendship. It had to end.
Yeah.
But on there is the holy grail of 90 Day Fiancé. So it's like 90 Day Fiancé cooking with 90 Day Fiancé behind the scenes, uncut. And I'm talking, I watched last night someone give someone a blowjob. They are going in on this fucking app. They do not care because it's their app and they can basically, the rules don't apply, right? You don't have to
You're telling me Joanna Gaines shares a 90 Day Fiancé porno app? Wow. How the tides have turned.
I am telling you, I watched, and I mean, the cameras were still filming, and I couldn't figure it out. I was like, why are the cameras still filming? Oh, because they knew. They were like, trust me, you are watching her give him a full blowjob in the car minus the dick. Like, you are watching everything else. You're watching her rub his dick outside of his clothes. I was not. Bill and I felt very uncomfortable. We had to fast forward, but then, of course, I had to rewind because I was like, this couldn't have really have happened. Usually they cut the scene. No, there was no cutting the scene.
Well, at least we know that they're like in it.
They're in
it.
Disney Plus was like, oh, I see you, Disney. Okay, girl. Oh, you got your little YouTube extras. Oh, look at that, Hulu Plus. How about dick?
Dick
in your face.
It's like there's not enough of that going around.
It was pretty insane. I was watching it and Bill kept saying, you gotta shut it off. You gotta wait for me. I'm so tired. I'm like, I'm sorry, playa. You know how many episodes there are? There's like 10,000 episodes. Like, they took all the shit they couldn't shoot and somebody was like, I've got an idea.
Nice. I'm happy you're happy.
I'm so happy. That and I've been hooked on Married at First Sight Australia.
Are they just better looking down there?
No.
Okay.
There are some it is like America except wild. The way they shot the first 5 episodes, which are just them falling in love and like meeting each other for the first time, I will say has to be the most romantic thing I've ever watched. Bill and I shed tears together. The way they did it, the way they fell in love, the way that they were like showing the love just made my heart swell.
Showing the love.
It was so sweet.
Kill me. Like, I'm dead.
I love when strangers show each other that kind of compassion and they instantly like knew what they were there for. And it was just like love. I don't know. It was just like so beautiful. I just cried. I cried. And I went to work with swollen eyes and they were like, what is going on? Are you okay?
I love that you cried that shit. Like maybe something is wrong with me because like I'm
going to send you one episode. I'm going to send you just one episode.
I do have a hilarious thing to tell you about what I did this week, actually.
Please, do tell me.
So remember our little gals weekend where we were making fun of me falling asleep?
Yes.
So I regretfully didn't get to see the end of Zoo.
Right.
So I tried to watch the end.
Okay.
And I couldn't get through it.
What do you mean?
Like, I was so ill watching it. I literally could not do it sober.
Yes. We weren't. Yes.
Which makes sense because I was cruising through.
Right.
I was cruising through. And then obviously,
you can't be sober.
So I definitely had to look up Mr. Hands.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Wow.
You didn't watch the video.
So I did not watch the video.
Did you? I hit play and then didn't look. And then I realized, I think I might be on a list now.
So here's one of the things that I found fascinating as it spiraled out. Sorry, you guys, we're back to the horse fucking. I know, like, you're thinking, like, when is this going to stop? But I'm going to wrap it up. So one of the interesting things that I realized, they said that they were not, even though Zoo shot it as, like, they were obsessed with horses, they actually said that this particular group of guys was just obsessed with big dicks. Speaking of dicks. I mean, it keeps coming full circle.
Yeah, they may have. Yeah.
So they were saying, like, in that they're like the particular group of guys, they just liked big dicks, and the only dicks that they could find that could satisfy.
Oh wait,
them,
wait. What part of the documentary was this? Or you looked it up?
This was my own personal research.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did some side research. See, this is what I'm saying. I need someone else to do some other research.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we did that. And I went into it, and they were just saying, like, they were actually obsessed with, like, the big dicks. And it was, like, the horses just happened to be, like, what they could get their hand. Like, the guys were no longer satisfying each other.
Gotcha.
And then Mr. Hands had actually gotten into horses because of a sensitivity issue due to a motorcycle accident. Oh, yeah, I went hard in the paint. As we do. So I just wanted everybody to know that don't watch it.
Okay, so first of all, please send me those articles because I'm obsessed.
Obsessed, I know.
I mean,
Yeah. So I still have yet to finish Zoo.
Yeah, and I posted that
I was like,
question, and I really do mean it. Like, Family Guy.
Yeah.
Are the women who fuck Brian, are they into zoophilia? They have to be. They fuck Brian. No one's ever asked that question.
I'm sure that's a producer question.
I'm asking hard-hitting questions.
And
I want to know whoever thought about Brian in that sense, like giving him a life with like women he sleeps with, have they seen the documentary?
Oh, you are wild.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
spiraling.
Don't do it, you guys.
No, do it. Do it, guys.
I just, like, I couldn't. I was like, there was just like one, and I was like, no.
How far did you make it through?
So the guy is just like the chubbier white guy.
Did you go to the end? Did you start midway and then go to the end, or did you start from the beginning?
I went from midway to the end because it was like burned into my brain. I don't care how many tequilas I had. I knew what I had seen. Because I was like, I thought, am I going to remember this? So I started and I was like, I remember all of this. Like,
all of it.
Borderline, like,
right.
Too much.
Right.
And then I got right to my spot where I must have legit passed out.
Just died. Right.
Like, there she goes.
Right.
Night.
Night.
So yeah, don't do it. Not on my end. Do your own private research and then don't do that.
Can't
read it.
It's a very interesting story. It's very interesting to see people out there who are doing said thing. And I'm still gonna send you that one about the guy who, ate his dick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you that one. I did read that Marilyn Manson is being investigated.
Oh wow.
Ooh. No one saw that coming. Yeah, he's coming. They are, trying to bring charges against him.
Well, that's good.
Shia LaBeouf. Did you read that Vanity Fair?
No.
Yeah. So, what is the gal's name? Is it Twiggy? No, F. Ooh.
Twiggy is like a 1960s.
No,
model.
Where's your phone at?
Right here.
It's look up Shia LaBeouf's girlfriend. Let's see, Shia LaBeouf.
Shyla.
We talked about her.
I actually really think that I would enjoy him.
FKA Twigs. Boom. FKA Twigs. I believe she's English. I think she's English. Anyways, she was the one that came out I think it was last summer or the summer before. I'm not really sure on the timeline, so don't quote me, but she came out and was like, dude, he's wild. He legitimately, like, sexual abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, like, put his hands on me. He's wild as shit. Like, I am shocked that I got away. And she did this whole piece about how, which I thought was really important, about how men and women both look at women who are in abusive relationships and go, well, how did you not get away? I mean, you have all the money, you have all the, how did you just not get away? And she kind of like broke down how it was in their relationship that was so slow, like you and I had talked about, slow and steady, that by the time she realized what she was in and her being the savior for him, she realized, oh, he's completely manipulated me. This is fucked up. Yeah, it was wild.
So, I mean, anybody who is a child star.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, anyone who was raised on wasn't he from a, what do they call them? Not a cult, but what are the farms where they all live off of the land and a commune. He lived on a commune. Mm-hmm.
I don't think the communes are the problem.
Oh, he said that he found his mother sexually, he would have slept with her if it wasn't, he made a comment about sleeping with her if it wasn't against, like, if it wasn't so taboo.
Like he was like, yes, she's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, like my mother and I he said that we have a bond that's so close that it would be almost like a husband and wife. So it's interesting. I don't think it's not the commune, and I'm not blaming the commune, but Shia LaBeouf has always had a lot of issues. And the only reason I bring this up is because I am bringing it back to women believing, number one, that they can save a man. You can't save anybody. And right. Two, just like, if you know this person's a piece of shit, they're a piece of shit. Like, you're not it wasn't the person they were with. Sometimes you see someone and you're like, right. Oh, it was a season. Right. They were with a piece of shit. No. Some people are just pieces of shit.
So one of the things that I have a really hard time about, one of the things that I will say about these men and these scenarios where it's either abuse, emotional, physical, verbal, spiritual, the whole thing. If you are getting into a relationship already, exactly like what you said, if you're walking into it and they're just kind of a shitbox, and
like you've heard,
you sign up for this. Yeah. I'm not victim blaming. I'm just saying, like, that is your own special set of issues. Either no one ever gets to put their hands on you or demoralize you in any of these other facets. But it is crazy to me. So full circle too, back to the Armie Hammer thing. So I had to get real deep. And I saw
some new shit about him as well.
Oh yeah,
which I was so glad that like everyone dropped him. Like, bye girl, bye.
Oh, he is 1000% into the BDMS community.
BDSM, yeah.
Yes, and so I had to go full fledged. I had to figure out what this community was about. I mean, obviously we all have like a broad idea. It is so fucked up.
Yeah.
It is so fucked up. Like, because I kept reading all these messages from that girl.
And when she says fucked up, she means the messages. She's not talking about BDSM. If you're into that and we're not kink shaming, but like him?
No, I'm for sure kink shaming. I'm sorry. I did not mean that to be misconstrued.
No, because some people are into spanking. Some people, and that's BDSM. Okay, some people are into being choked. So some people like to be tied up. I like to be tied up and tickled.
That's not this shit, dude.
Yeah, but that's still considered BDSM.
Okay, no, it's not. No, it's not, because let me just fucking... No, it's not.
It is considered a kink. Docket? It is. It's considered a kink.
Fucking tickle fight?
Yes.
No, bitch. Not on their shit. No, fuck that. And no. If you want to play with toys, if you guys want to role play, if you want to go down to Adam and Eve and get a little spanky, little fucking tickler, little fuzzy handcuffs, a little fucking like dick gum or lube where it's like it tastes good, eat edible underwear.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you're a fucking shameful human. That's kink shaming.
Okay.
when there is something that is called consent to non-consent.
Okay.
Shame.
Okay.
Do you know what that is? That says that's a contract that you're out.
Or a tap out word. I've always found a tap out word.
Then it says, no.
Yeah.
So then some of these master, or what are they? The Sado, and then there's the Basicus. What is it? It's a Dom.
The Dom, and the sub.
So I
gotta
kept
get the
reading.
lingo
Okay,
right.
you guys, this is too much information, but I just got to get into this. So I started reading because on a lot of her messages, she's hammering him. She's saying, you didn't provide aftercare. The aftercare kept popping up. So naturally, thank you. I had to get on side tab, what is BDMS aftercare? I was very confused because I thought, well, this is an interesting protocol. Why could you need aftercare after a scene? They call it a scene.
Oh, after a scene.
So in the BDSM community, like when you actually get down with the get down, and I'm not talking little spanky, little fucking, little tighter, little tiny bit of air compression where maybe it heightens the euphoria of your orgasm. I mean, like we've all experienced a little rough sex in our life, whether we liked it or not.
Right.
This is aftercare. This is when something, aka scene, has been so brutal, whether violent, sexual, anything, that when you provide aftercare, not only is it psychological aftercare, a lot of it is physical. Like you have to have ice packs. You have to have.
If you don't tell them that certain things bother you, they aren't going to know you could get hurt. Common limits include blood, disease transmission, piss and shit,
knives,
feeling claustrophobic or feeling too exposed, feeling worthless, humiliated, feeling
that's the
unsafe.
PG. That's the PG
triggers,
version.
pain and grunting, snapping fingers, dropping an object, pressing a button to make a noise. Oh.
It's wild. Okay. So
aftercare, dominance 101, aftercare. Safety, power plays.
So a scene for this girl, what I've come to understand, and this is not shaming because I'm so confused. I would love for anybody hearing
We're going to get someone on. Because I'm curious.
We have to interview. And I also, you guys, if you know anything about this, I want you to write in and we will read this back because I need other. So this girl with Armie Hammer, the one who's really blown the top off, right?
Right. The whistleblower, if you will. The dick blower, if you will.
Like, he raped me. He raped me. And he hurt me. And I am fucking scarred. I'm in counseling. I am in all this shit because... And I was like, okay...
And that's saying something when you're doing BDSM, right? Yeah. That's like saying something.
What happened, from what I understand on her end and on his end, is that she agreed to a consent to non-consent. So basically, for all of you vanillas out there, as they like to call you, it says you can pretend, and I'm air quoting, obviously, pretend scene to rape me. Like, you will hunt me down, we will be in an area, and you will come after me, and I am consenting to non-consent. So I am going to fight you. I am going to cry. I'm going to ask you to stop. And a lot of these guys who like the consent to non-consent, it's so tricky because a lot of them have to have contracts, like written contracts, because a lot of them, guys who are into that shit, obviously are not into safe words.
Right.
Because the regulars,
the regs,
the fucking regs, they all play, like, it's very important to have your safe word throughout, from what I've learned. Now, these consent to non-consents, sometimes they will allow a safe word, but a lot of them prefer there to not be a safe word because they obviously are fantasizing about raping a human being.
Right.
And this is all facets of it. Orally, anally, vaginally. And so she said this scene happened, and then he dipped. I mean, he's a famous actor who's married with 3 children.
So he was just like later days.
So aftercare, which how this all started when all these messages started coming, she's just like blown him up.
And so aftercare was basically taking care of her wounds. Like whatever her wounds were.
Emotionally, and mentally. Because these things are so traumatizing. Rape.
But why do you need... Okay, can I just say something?
Yeah.
And I'm saying it ignorantly, obviously not to upset anyone. But my question is why do you need mental care if this is something that you knew was going to happen and that you signed up for?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm
confused.
I'm so confused by this whole thing, because this was a dom sub relationship.
Right.
He was.
So you kind of know what you're signing up for. Like,
this
what was the movie?
Shia LaBeouf, like, oh wow, you want to fuck your mom and you're an alcoholic drug addict, and I'm gonna like.
Oh no, he woke her up like in the middle of she was sleeping. He was choking her out, trying to.
No, that's what I'm saying though. But like, she was like, oh, you're fucked up. Let's date.
Oh,
right?
I see what you're saying.
And then he escalated, and it's all wrong. It's all wrong, but I'm just saying, like, she did not know that he wanted to choke her out while she was sleeping, right? She just assumed, like, you're a fucked up guy.
Right.
You're famous. I'm probably interested in this in some facet. And then things just escalated way out of control.
Right.
And we know now that. When you enter these situations, it is very clear. And Armie Hammer, disgusting human, but he is, even in her messages that she is showing the internet and the world to whistleblow, he is literally like, we agreed to all of this.
Right.
Like, he's disgusting. He is a disgusting, foul human, but he's just like, I'm sorry I didn't provide proper aftercare. You're right. I got busy. Like, things kind of took me in a different direction. Like, they recommend touchies or snuggies. Like, they say you should have, like, a childhood object, a teddy bear, a specific blanket, because typically after scenes, whether it is consent to non-consent or these other more violent stuff, that these subs are going to be so traumatized that they're typically going to be in shock.
But to me, I don't understand, because to me that means that you are just one sub away from raping a woman who's going to the grocery store.
So,
am I wrong?
I'm sorry. This community,
like if you were ready to go with your sub and she's like, let's do it. And then last minute, she's like, I had a previous engagement. I can't show up. But you're ready and roused and wound up to go. Men and women are very different. A woman can go light switch off. But a man, it's not very easy for them to go, okay, we're not going to do this. So basically, I'm to believe that Armie Hammer's always about one light switch away from
fucking killing someone.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm reading that correctly.
1,000%. He even said in their messages before she got pissed, like when they're like getting all hyped and reliving it, he was like, yeah, that was fucking awesome. He goes, in the messages, I literally could have killed you. I was so into it. I wanted to kill you. But he's like reliving this thing. And she's writing back not positive things. She's like, I pretty much wanted to die. So that would have worked, I guess.
So she really was doing it more for either to please him, for 100%. Money, whatever it was. But 100%. She wasn't necessarily a sub. She wasn't like a normal everyday, the girl who's usually into this, right?
Dude, I don't know. I cannot figure it out.
I would have assumed, because if you're a sub, most subs and that I've come across.
Too much of my alone time after the kids are in bed trying to figure this shit out.
No, because most subs that you do see, and I've watched a ton of documentaries about this because I am curious as well, they already know. They're into it. They get off on the fact that... But there's these different
facets. So, like, when you say kink shaming, like, I think if you want to wear a leather vest and a fucking mask with a zipper and put somebody up in a hotel room...
That's
and
kinky.
Bank them till they bruise and then get off on that, that's kinky shit. I don't think that is...
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
like, to me, I don't, whatever.
But if you're like making someone bleed,
fucking pow, pow, whoo, whoo, like they're enjoying it.
Right.
I mean, and who's to say what people can't enjoy? I'm sorry, I don't know who hurt you or what wires got tickled up there, but you know, it's your shit and that's fine. This next level shit, and that stuff's wild. But this is like, it's literally saying, like, I'm living out my darkest fantasy and I don't want to go to jail. Like, I'm cognitive. I'm sane.
But I don't want to go to prison.
I don't want to go to prison. I can't kill you, but I'm going to do everything in my power to...
Have you experienced what having someone murder you and rape and violently kill you would be like?
And then we're not allowed to shame that?
No, I agree with you.
And it's just so odd to me because now I'm trying. This poor girl was raped in my fucking start to finish. Whether she thought it was going to be a scene to please her man or whatever it was, that was fucking rape. She was literally crawling down a hallway at one point, crying, like begging him to stop, and he even talks about I know it's sickening, and he talks about like finding her and like the heightenedness about his.
He's a sociopath.
He's a fucking sociopath, but he's not insane.
The problem is, for me,
he even apologizes for not having proper aftercare, but he doesn't even want to talk about that. He's so annoyed that they keep getting out of the scene, like the reliving it.
Right.
And you could tell he keeps trying to circle back to talking about, so he's just like typing and like reliving it in the second. And she's like, you fucking brutalized me. And then you dipped. Like, that was not the agreement, because I think she thinks, like, if I do these things for him, he's going to leave his wife and kids and love me, and I'm going to be this guy's wife. And I have to say this. He's so hot. It even made me a little sick to say that. But if you guys look at this guy and you listen to his voice, he has an oddly strange, amazing voice. He's very physically attractive, a person, man. He is. And I'm just so confused about how this whole victim thing's gonna go. Like, because I want her to get some sort of justice, but like, this was a full blown like BDS
contract.
So what?
Because
you guys
think
like,
that
I'm
women...
sorry I'm not being very articulate about it, because my mind is seriously just like an accordion with this information. So bizarre to me.
I think for women, we are so delicate, and we are providers, and we give life, and we smell good, and we look good, and we are charming and funny, and
from what I
we have all these facets that men and even other women find extremely attractive. I think until our society recognizes women in a higher light above men, this sort of thing will never stop happening. And it's always been ironic, even when I was a kid, because my mom would always explain like life and how things worked, and I always thought it's so weird that women are the ones that are being put on magazines, and women are the ones who get paid less, or women are the one that are, when we literally give life. We give life. We give you this. We gave you this. There would be no other without us. Yes, you have to give us a sperm, but like, we could choose also not to have any more babies, and we could be like, we're out, bitch. So it's strange to me that women are almost used as these objects sometimes, a lot of times, most of the time, for men to get out these aggressions and these fantasies and these wanting to just ultimately dominate a woman. Like, I always think, when is it going to be enough for men? Because now they even have to pretend rape us, and we're calling it BDSM.
Literally.
And that's what we're calling it. But you're pretend raping a woman so that you can feel more superior. Because when you and your little dick go out into this world, you feel, or whatever happened with your fucking mommy, made you feel some sort of way that you had to go out and pretend to be a normal person, and then try to get commission somebody to come in so that you can pretend rape them.
And then too, you're right. A lot of men are but there's a lot of women out there who just like to beat on men too. And there's men out there, of course,
but it's more men. There's more men. Obviously, more women are being raped and killed, obviously, than women are killing and like raping men. And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in general that it's surprising to me.
You know what it is? You know what the fascinating part about this is, and it just dawned on me, is that if a woman does this to a man, it will always come down to pretend.
Correct. But if a man does it to a woman,
because here's the thing,
but woman doesn't need to pretend to rape somebody, because it's not
Rousey, okay? Right. And you're a weird little fucking Japanese businessman who just wants to like get choked out and told he's a little dick loser while he's getting smacked in the face with a tickler, right?
Right.
If he wants that to end, he has a very, very high chance
Of making that end. A woman cannot.
A woman cannot. So I know that everybody's really into like protecting the fuck category of the world, you know, like the kinky shit. But I'm getting to the point where like all of this stuff is coming out and I'm like, can we look around and say, hey, maybe we need some like fucking Jesus or
well, and I think that's part of what's happening
and
now.
Jesus could
obviously,
be any facet you want, but
right.
I'm just saying, like, this is fucking wild, especially within all of our celebrities, all of our Hollywood. Like, what's happening to these fucking young child stars?
It's because you can only have so much. You can only have so much money to have all of the things before you start to get bored. Before you genuinely just everyday shit doesn't do it for you. But that's no different than the guy who comes home every night and masturbates to porn. After a while, regular male woman porn or whatever hetero porn is not going to do it for you. Then maybe you start getting into a little bit weirder shit until one day you end up on fucking anime porn where they're pissing in someone's fucking mouth. Like at some point you got to elevate it because it's just like doing a drug, right? It's not going to give you the same high that you got the first time that you did it. And so what happens is because you become so desensitized to it, you're like up in the ante every time. You're up in the ante every time. And before you know it, you're in a closet locked in talking about, I could come my mom, call my mommy, like what the fuck is going on? But it's just about being out of touch. When you have all of the money and all of the things and no one's telling you no and everyone's telling you yes all of the time, it's amazing what you can come up with. And I don't care if you're poor or rich. Actually, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
because you see motherfuckers who are poor all the time in these fucking backwoods who do some wild shit. People who go into malls and kill everyone. People they've never met. People who they didn't have a grind against. Kids, babies. How? Why? How did they do that? Because they feel like next level. This wasn't enough. This wasn't enough. So I'm hoping, I really do hope, I don't think we'll see it in our lifetime. But I hope our babies and our babies' babies, especially the women, get to see a world where women are not so vulnerable with every act. And so now it's like you can't even be a woman and be into BDSM, which I totally understand. But you can't even be into that without some dude being like, well, have you ever been fucking pretend raped? And you're like, what the fuck? No woman is like, that's fun. Yes, women like to play a little like, oh, who's outside who's outside the window? But I don't want to be screaming, crying, snot in my face while you're dragging me down a hallway. That's wild.
Wild, right?
You're an insane. That's not BDSM though. You can't call that BDSM. To me, that's not BDSM. That's just brutality.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And I'm sure that there's like this whole little fucking segment of the world.
I don't care. If you do that shit, you're into brutality.
Right.
I'm sorry. That's like being like, well, I beat my children, but it's like a whole game we play.
Right.
No, that's not a game you play.
Yeah.
They cannot, if they tell you to stop and you don't want to, they can't stop you. If I wanted to stop and I tell you to stop, but you don't want to, I can't make it stop. You overpower me. You overweigh me.
So how crazy is this? Like even within the court system, and I don't know this much. I couldn't find anything in writing because I'm sure it's going through a court system.
Oh,
like,
no,
actually, I'm sure.
Very much in court.
But like if they have this contract, this is just wild to me, right? Because like, we have a whole court, a whole system set up. But if a judge gets this contract, right, and it says, I, Alicia, have consented to a non-consent sexual scene with Armie Hammer. And then I'm on this side, he's on this side. And the judge reads this and he goes, did you sign this? And I go, well, yeah, but I also, it got out of hand and I was raped. And he's like, but.
Well, no.
Was this the play rape or was this the rape? Like the fact that there's even a contract out there that exists like this is like so fucked up. And like, I don't care. I don't know.
The problem is that yes, but the problem is
what's supposed to happen to
sex
him?
Between
is he protected? Because
he is not protected. He is not, because I'll tell you why. Having sex, I think the problem was from the very beginning was that
how is he not
as
protected?
Women,
why would the contract even exist then? Because
the contract is basically saying if he like bonks you over the head and accidentally kills you, it's to say I didn't mean to kill her. We had this whole. That's basically what it's doing. It's saying if he accidentally kills her.
So then, after you sign a contract to be raped, how do you convince somebody obviously she said,
the minute you say, I don't want to do this anymore.
No, I know. I'm saying in a court of law, how do you get your justice? Because you've signed something that said you gave up those rights, and then you're saying like, but I didn't mean it, but I signed it. I mean, I'm not, again,
because the burden of proof is on the other side. The proof doesn't need to be on her side.
So he says on his side, right? Armie's like, no, Alicia's full of shit. She loves
And they're going to say, prove it. Outside of the contract, prove it.
Right. And then I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to prove he raped me by just saying it, right? Because this is all like
not
way
you,
later days.
Him.
And then they're supposed to say, prove it, that she, like, it's just that, then it's hearsay.
Well, and it's just like rape, right? When women would go, yeah, of course I left the bar with him. Yeah, I liked him. We were into it. I thought he smelled nice and we were laughing. No, it's not.
There's no contract.
That is a contract. When you say, I'm coming with you and you come with me.
There is no signed contract.
No, not signed.
Actually
but an oral contract is just the same as a physical contract. If you physically tell me, yes, we're going to go do this. Yes, I want to come with you inside of your car.
There's no way that's true, or else we wouldn't sign contracts for houses.
No, why do you think so many men got off on rape? That very thing. They said, ma'am, did you say you wanted to get in the car with him? Yes, I did, Your Honor. Okay, did you know you were going to his house? Yes, I did, Your Honor. But, no, not but did you go to his house? Yes, I did, Your Honor. Okay, well, did you walk into his house? Did you take off your panties? Did you get into his bed? Yes, I did, Your Honor. And so then what was the problem? Well, about 20 minutes into fucking, started fucking me super hard and I didn't want to do it anymore and I told him to stop. But how did he know you weren't playing coy anymore? Because I told him to stop. But how did he know that you weren't just fucking around? Because I screamed stop and I pushed him off me and I scratched him. But how did he not know that you just liked it rough?
Okay, all of those things are super valid, but then Armie Hammer throws up a contract that literally says, I want all of these things, and then my signature is right here.
Yes. But the law still says, if someone says, no more, stop.
But then in the contract, it says, I'm going to say stop, but you don't stop, and I'm going to sign that.
Did it say that?
Yes. That is a whole contract for consent to non-consent. Everything I know what you're saying to me, and I'm saying to you, she signed. I don't know if this is in existence because I cannot find it, but from what I'm gathering, this was a consent to non-consent contract that they do. That she was like, yeah, I'm down for this. And I'm just like, and I believe her. I just want everybody.
Oh, I 1000% believe her.
I know that it got out of hand, and I've read the messages, and I've seen what this poor woman has said about this man, and it is fucking wild because he tormented her soul. Like, she's like, I am never going to be the same. And I thoroughly believe that. But I'm just so confused that these contracts, these kinks can be in existence with, and this can hold up because they specifically do these contracts for shit like this.
Even if he doesn't, I mean, he may never face criminal charges.
Even if he doesn't go to prison, he'll never hopefully work again.
He'll never work again.
And that's exciting to me, and I feel like
she can still criminally sue him and get damages, hopefully.
And she has to. And I know that. It's just, obviously those are the nuances of their own personal court case. But you get what I'm saying. It's just disgusting. Like, this is a disgusting real life thing that's existing in our world right now, and apparently me and you have been on a real kick of the bizarre.
Well, it just kind of bums me out just how we treat women, young girls, ladies in general.
And regardless of how we
even in
treat
porn,
them
when you
or
see like
society.
When you see porn that says like teen girl fucking comes, and you're like, why would anyone click on, like, who wants? Bill and I talk about it all the time. He's like, dude, I am in my I'm almost in my 50s. What grown man wants the thought of their teenage girl on top of their dick? He goes, I'm talking about a teenage girl whose boobs aren't like developed, who are like soft, like little skin. Like, that is weird. You should want, as a grown man, a grown woman.
Yeah.
It is bizarre, but I told him there are certain men, adult men who we know, who you work with, who I talk to, who I see, who are into a specific kind of porn.
Well, I guess you guys, I'm just...
I mean, the guy who had there was a gentleman who had a seizure disorder, so he had a implant put into his head. I believe it's on NPR, This American Life. I think you can look it up. Years ago, maybe like 2010, 2009, somewhere in there. But it's about a guy who, brilliant guy, really smart, has a seizure disorder. And I believe, don't quote me, he liked to fly, or he did something where he couldn't have a seizure disorder. So he goes into the neurologist, they put this implant into his brain, and where they put the implant, they didn't realize, caused all of the safeguards that we have in our brain that says, don't do that. That's wrong. Don't look at kids. Don't touch babies. Don't beat women. Don't, all of the shit that's like the safeguard, that implant completely shut that off. So one day his wife was like cooking it, like, you want asparagus? Chicken for dinner? And here comes the fucking FBI. And they're like, we got to arrest him for child porn.
What?
Mm-hmm. And when the judge and the psychiatrist and the neurologist and they all came forward, they were like, oh yeah, he would never have done this if it hadn't been for this implant. And the judge like wept tears and was like, I'm really sorry. I have to punish you though. Like, regardless if it's because of this device or not, I still have to punish you. I can't have people out here thinking they can use this as an excuse to touch and look at child porn. So I think they gave him 5 years. I think he did 5 years in prison. Maybe he did 3 or 4, something like that. But his wife was like, I find it difficult because when they took the implant out, obviously he was still a regular guy, but she was like, it's hard for me to forget all of those things happened, forget what his eyes were seeing, even though it wasn't something that he never would have done in his right mind. And that's what the doctor said. He goes, I am so sorry. I feel awful. And I mean, once they took the implant out, he was destroyed. Can you imagine being someone that was like, I'm not into kiddie porn, but I was watching it and that's all stored up here?
I can't.
Yikes. Yikers.
Well, you guys, this was starting on a positive turn and then it went to the bizarre once again. But, you know, you guys, these are the real trials we're dealing with. We're seeing all this crazy shit all the time. And I just have to say, like, I just love my vanilla-ass husband. I just love, God, sometimes, I mean, like, the old-fashioned birthday blowjob. And, like, sometimes you put the kids to bed early, wink, wink. Like, my man is as basic as they come, and mama is happy.
Well, and so we were just talking about this last week, and I said, speaking of blowjobs, you know, if you are in a relationship with somebody, I hate when you're being passive aggressive and you still want to fuck. When you're like, I'm still tight in my feelings, but we be fucking. Because there have been times when I look back and I'm like, my enthusiasm was not there. We should not have fucked. Like, I'm still pissed at you. That was a very half-ass blowjob. It was a very haphazard hand job. My heart wasn't in it.
But sometimes that kind of stuff, like, cools it. It's like throwing a little ice on the or the little water on the, you know, it's just gets you past that.
Sometimes.
Not all the time.
Sometimes if I'm irritated, I'm like, why did I have sex with you? I'm giving you the best of both worlds. You have pissed me off.
You are not punished.
You have pissed me off. You have made me mad. But I hate that too, right? Like, I hate that I hear men on a constant basis saying how women punish men for having, like, with sex. And I don't believe that's true, at least in my world.
Because they can keep going. Like, just because I'm respecting my own boundaries, they're like, oh, she's holding out on me to teach me a lesson. No, I don't fucking like you.
That's my point. Is that like they're not getting that.
I'm not going to have sex with that chair either.
Right.
I don't like that chair very much.
Right.
You know what I do like? The shower head.
Doesn't talk back and it picks up its socks. I think that's my point, is that, like, instead of men taking responsibility and going, well, maybe I shouldn't be a piece of shit, or maybe I shouldn't, you know, whoever it is.
Maybe I should make her like me.
Maybe I should make her like me. And maybe when we have sex, or maybe she won't shut me down as much.
We're not going to solve all the world's problems tonight.
I mean, I never said we were. I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying, but that one, I feel like we got to save that one for another day, because that, you guys, we'll cut into that.
It really upsets me.
I mean, it upsets me too, but it goes into so many more things of, like, why men are automatically assumed women would, you know, just be like the ultimate caretakers and do all the laundry and.
Oof, I never thought about that.
It goes into all of these things. They're not just like, oh, she's holding out on me. No, she's fucking tired and she hates you.
It's just strange to me that you would never, it would never dawn on you that maybe I could be unhappy about other shit.
Well, it dawns on them. It's just definitely not their, like, go-to. They're just like, oh, she's holding out. She wants it.
It's so bizarre.
It is fucking
bizarre. Do they
bizarre.
think that we don't like dick that much? They can't think that. Men don't think that. They cannot think that we don't like dick that much.
I think some of them are pretty convinced that we could go without. I think a lot are. Yeah, I think a lot are. And honestly, that kind of is per person though, because I actually know a handful of women, not only themselves but also their husbands, who have reached a state in their sexuality where they're just like good.
Yeah, but there's
like it's gonna happen on
good.
like New Year's Eve, or like when the kids go to grandma's and like you had like just the right amount of beers.
Right.
But like there are men, like a lot of women to me have talked about how men, their guys are just like hitting this real downward slope, and I don't know if it comes with like testosterone,
age and testosterone,
hormones.
And I get that, but I don't like. I think women get to a place where we're just like, we're cool, we coast, we're fine with it. But I don't think, like, if I had good dick, if a woman had a chance to have good dick, she's not going to be like, no, thank you.
It so specifically.
Because it's good, like, good dick is good dick. Are you
doing that on purpose, or is it just come out like that?
What do you mean?
Like, good dick.
Am I saying it like that?
I think when you rehear this later, I think
am I gonna hear
it?
You're
like, that's very specific.
Yeah, because
way
when
to
you
say
have some
that.
good dick,
because I would say like good dick, good dick. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Maybe I'm tired.
I'm just saying, no one's ever been like, you know what, I'm not in the mood for some good dick. No, every woman has been like, yes, unless you're pissing me off, unless you're not holding up your end of the bargain, unless you're, you know how many women we watch walk out of bars with strangers? What do you think? All of a sudden, just one day, they were like, you know what? No more dick for me. You know what? I could do without
really fair
dick
point.
anymore.
That's actually
no.
Really
You think
fair
I
point.
like dick in my 20s, and all of a sudden in my 40s, I was like, no, thank you. The fuck are you talking about? Maybe you're the fucking problem, not your dick. Your dick didn't do anything. You're the problem. If I could get your dick out of you and just singularly put it, are you kidding me? My best day is when I can be by myself and just fucking get all the toys out and see what vibrates the hardest. Which one's got battery left? Which one's got a good kick? We got vibrators not because we don't like sex. We have invented thousands of vibrators to tickle all of our pleasures. So when you annoy us, we can still have the best, and you still
Which
think...
is like probably 80% of the time.
We sit in rooms. Remember passion parties?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They were like Tupperware parties,
yes.
but for vibrators.
Yeah.
You think a bunch of women sat in a room and here, you want to try this one? No, this one's good. I don't know. She said there's some sort of weird flashlight. You can use it as a tool. I don't know. I think you can open this one with cans, and this one you can use as a flashlight. Try that one. Like, you think we do that?
Yeah. I've been to a few, and it's very much like that. It's like very cut and dry. It's like
very cut and dry.
They think, like, you have a couple cocktails, you get loose, but like at the end of the day, people are shopping.
People are shopping. They're like, do you take cash or credit? No, I don't have time for a check.
What's it under? Is it going to be weird on the card? What's your name under?
And why do they always give us such a weird bag? Like, I have one that's in this, like, weird, silky, like, purple bag. And I'm like, this just screams to Keek, don't touch me, I'm a vibrator. I don't need her to know that. Put it in, like, a...
hot dog wrapper.
Or something she won't fucking want to use or pick up. But if I was in my parents' room...
Maybe I'll put my pencils in there.
Right. If I was in my mom's room and I saw a purple velvety bag, I'd be like, ooh, what's in here? I
would literally be like, what the fuck is in there?
I would think there's jewels. Ooh, let me open it.
Oh yeah, like a pile of jewels. Yeah, I could see that.
As a child. So anyways, we'll touch on it next week.
Yeah, sorry guys.
We got really into Armie Hammer.
Yeah, we did. We really blew I blew my load, no pun intended on that one.
Yeah. I'll put a little disclaimer in the beginning just in case anyone's fucking triggered.
I was gonna say there should be a trigger warning on this one.
Oh,
but you guys, we're serious because I'm confused. I am so confused about the state of our sexual world right now because this shit's just supposed to be
not
thing,
this.
I guess.
Not this. Yeah, and I enjoy sex, but I don't enjoy, and that goes for men too, by the way. I shouldn't have to say it, but I'm going to say it. I don't want men brutalized either. I don't want anyone brutalized.
No, 100%.
Sex is fun and it's exciting, and no one should be being fake raped. Like, that's a scary feeling. That's awful. And
there's this cold case file I'll have to send you. You guys, it's on season 2, Netflix right now. And it was this guy who was in the BDSM community, and he killed a bunch of women over the course of, I think, like 30 years. Probably killed over 10 women, I believe. And he was in this community, And it's just like the perfect example of what I feel like an Armie Hammer could get to is sometimes it would just get so pent up. Like he would not order them, but like they'd meet each other online. And some of them, and they even have this one like recorded, and the police came to him and they ended up getting in the room next to him because they were trying to catch him and figure out what was going on. And the sex was so brutal, but the woman walked out looking like she had had a great time and just like got in her car and
she had
left.
no idea.
And that was just like, he was capable of like getting his rocks off on that. And then it would build and build and build. And he would meet one of these women and kill them eventually. And it wasn't just a meeting, like he would woo them in.
Right.
And they would come to live with him. And then he would like slowly, the only reason they really got caught up is because one of the family members, or like one of the chick's families, were very attached to her, obviously, and realized after like a year of all this shit that they were like, oh, something's wrong. Like, I've not spoken to my daughter. This is fucking crazy. And kind of got the ball rolling on the major investigation, which ended up, and he would just, I'm just saying, like, that's what you want. You want to hurt and kill people.
Right.
Sexually, and then obviously end their life.
Right. Really, sex is just an aftermath, but like you want to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
You want to physically take someone else's
like wild
life.
To me that these things are like being protected under like a kink. Do you get what I'm
yes.
saying? Like,
okay.
That is my entire thought process on this episode. Is I'm just like so oddly,
and you're right. It is disgusting.
I'm just so in awe right now of like. Because yes, like you said earlier, like a thing right now, people are like, well, don't be kink shaming. And it's like, okay, well, if you like to dress up like a schoolgirl and you and your husband or partner or however like to role play, and then somebody's just going to dog on you about that, that's like, mind your own fucking business. You're not hurting anybody.
I agree with you. 100%,
and you guys like to pretend like you're fuzzies or whatever. Like, to me, that's like, that's harmless stuff. Like, that's just like stuff that something happened. When you enter this realm where you need to hurt other people, whether it is man, woman, whatever, but obviously I just feel more towards women because like if a man does this to me, seen or not, like you're fucking me up.
Right.
I don't understand why this is now it seems like it's becoming into a realm that could potentially be protected.
I don't think so.
I hope not, but I'm just saying I see the writing on the wall with all this stuff.
And I think that if we would have seen people rallying behind him in a strong way, I'd be a little bit more concerned. Or what's his name, the comedian, who I actually really liked. It fucking sucks that you find out some of these motherfuckers. Chris, what's his name? Damn it. He was on that show with Whitney Cummings. I'll send it to you tonight before you leave. Anyways, he just got brought up on like porn charges and like all these weird charges with women. And this one woman who was like, no, I was 16 at the time. I told him how old I was. I told him everything, and he still wanted to meet me and fuck me. He still wanted to record it. He still wanted to do the most. And you got to be careful. If you have kids out here, if you're a young woman, I understand. The celebrity is alluring. I understand the money is alluring. But your life, you get one life. One time. You get one time to do this shit. That's it. And the scars that we put mentally, physically, and emotionally on ourselves or allow someone else to put onto us, you can't erase those. No matter how many times you stitch them up. So you guys, everyone be careful. Everyone stay sexy. Everyone stay sexy.
Stay safe and sexy.
Everyone stay safe and sexy out in these streets. You guys do not forget to subscribe. I'm sure a lot of you guys have noticed there's been a little bit of change on our YouTube page. So now we have our trailers and then we have our regular episodes. So you'll always see 2 dropping. We again, of course, appreciate all the love and support that we get. Don't forget to share. Do not forget to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and of course on YouTube. Our website is thehatejournals.com. Our Instagram is The Hate Journals. Our Twitter is Hate Journals. We love you guys.
Love you.
See you next week. Bye.
Well, that got dark.